Hello, I hope you can hear me and see me okay. I did a quick sound test with a couple of seconds shot before I put it on to check there was sound coming through. So fingers crossed it's working, because it'd be awful if I did all this video and then I look back and there was no sound. So fingers crossed it's okay. Good news is I found my tripod and I've got my little remote that turns the video on and off, working again. So I don't know how I'd have actually done this video if I hadn't have found my tripod, because I've tried to set the camera up so you can see this and see this, because I want to show you something on here as well, and I just, this is a bit of a long overdue video again. I wanted to like show you things that I was making up to Christmas, talk about advent calendars and something electrical thing I've bought, and just various. It's kind of unplanned. It's a bit of a desperate one, because I know that we're going to be tidying things away for Christmas soon, so I just thought I better just grab a load of things. I've just grabbed loads of things and tried to set up, and I'll see what happens. And I have managed to pick up a couple of things that I wanted to show you that I'd made before, but I couldn't find them at the time, and but yeah, I found them now, so it probably doesn't seem appropriate, one of them now with the time of year, but there you go. I just thought it will round up the year and we can move on for the rest of the year. So basically, like my last video, I haven't watched my last video back, so I can't remember what I spoke about exactly, but I know I think I'd made a Santa, and I think I'd made a Joy doll, but she needed a wing, so I have made her wings now, but she's over there, and I don't I just film these videos in one slot and just post them up. I know I have seen other YouTubers that kind of piece videos together, and they put photos in it and things, but I just haven't. I'm not saying I couldn't do it, maybe if I had the right software on a computer, but I just haven't got the time for that, and I'm not a business, so it's you know, I just do this for a bit of fun, so I just kind of just go with it, and this is what you get, basically. So basically a lot of my December ended up getting taken up with this, and this is my nativity set. I bought a pattern from Mandy Shaw, you know, I'm a super fan, and the pattern basically give you a pattern to make the shape of the nativity, and for the clothing. Oh, that king, I just noticed his eyes are covered, and for the clothing. However, I did tinker with it, and you had to buy like the wooden dolls separately. Well, basically it was all separate. I've basically used my stash to make up all the clothing and things, and I did buy a pack of wool felt, but I have tinkered with it a little bit. Like Mandy does suggest how you do the faces, and Mandy uses basically a black Sharpie, and she colours in the heads for the hair in black, and dots the eyes with like micro pigment pens and things, and so they end up like all with black hair, and I think she makes her kings, which I think is a lovely idea, very oriental looking, so that's especially if you are oriental, but mine look like mainly like Lego people really, but I had a lot of fun, so I had to basically seal the wood ready for painting, and I used acrylic paints. Now if you want to see these in a little more detail, I was posting about these as I made them. I was posting about them, and then I was doing a little story on my social media, so I was like telling the nativity story the best I could. I am a Roman Catholic, and but I'm not as practicing as I was like as in childhood, since I became a mother, and had 3 children close in age and things, so it became more difficult to attend church and things. So this is my nativity. So if I try and show you a little bit, it's like the kings, like the outfits for the kings, they all were meant to be slightly different on the pattern, but I've done them all in the same outfit, and I've just done different colours, so really bright colours, like I know, like back in, you know, BC times, you probably couldn't even get those colours, could you? You know, maybe some of them, but from, you know, fruit, you could dye from fruit, but you know, but it's a bit of fun, isn't it? And I don't know if you can see the I don't even see the shepherds, but here's one of the shepherds. Oh, but I jumped ahead, didn't I? So basically, I sealed the wood, and then I painted them. So I've given them all different colours here. Some have got brown, blonde, you know, Albany tones. Actually, my favourite one, I think, is this king. I gave him a bald head and just a white beard and a bit of white hair round the back. I really liked that. And actually, the kings were supposed to, in the pattern, have different kind of felt hats, but I just cut out some mirror card in a crown shape and put it on their head. So obviously, you just got to watch how you store those. And the shepherds are dressed in like a lovely like wool fabric. That's like fabric's actually £20 a metre, but obviously you wasn't using a lot of it, and they use like cotton headscarves. And actually, what was quite a lot of fun making was all the little, I don't know if you can, how well you can see all the little belts and the things around the head. That's cotton or brode, and that was just some bit of twine I had or something. And basically, I might do a demo on that for you sometime. It's basically, you get like a few strands of something or whatever, or you're using something thin like cotton or brode or twine or whatever, and you have to secure both, like one end like tight together, and then secure the other end and put like a pencil or pen in it, and you wrap and wrap and wrap and wrap and wrap until it's really tight, till it starts to kind of fold on itself, like buckle a bit. Then you have to be ever so careful. You have to like grab the middle. It's useful to have someone do this with you. I sometimes got my husband, I didn't know all the time, to hold the middle. Well, I let the ends go, and you bring the two ends together while the person's got the middle, then you let them go, and they all like twist together, and you kind of have to tease it through like this, and then you're left with this fabulous twisty thing. Like I've done it, like these weren't a part of the pattern actually around the king's necks, but I was sent those from Sew magazine. I was sent a whole box of goodies. I like won a competition, and they'd put those in. So I give the kings all different colour neckwear. So yeah, that was really nice. The other thing that was quite fun to make were the animals. If you have a look, there's a donkey. I'll lift him up. Donkey, the blanket on his back, and sheep, and the camel. I love the camel. I really love him, and I put that sparkly twine around him as well. And Mary's beautiful. Joseph, like I don't know if you're very aware of Stuart Hillard. He does like knitting and quilting. People kept on saying on photos, it looks like Stuart Hillard, and really beautiful. I know the Angel Gabriel was a man, but mine does look pretty. Oh, where's the shepherd gone? Mine does look pretty girly, in all fairness. And there's her. And then what I did, do you know those boxes that I demoed when I last did a video that I made? I took a bit of that off the one I tied together, and I replaced it with something. Made a circle. I thought I'll glue this to the whole of the head. Well, anyway, I put hot glue on the back, and then it just stood up like that perfectly. So do you know what? I just left it. I thought that looks really lovely. So, and obviously the star of the show is going to, of course, be baby Jesus, and he's in his little. Oh dear, sorry, Angel Gabriel. And there he is, all wrapped up there. So yeah, I'm delighted with this. Actually, a couple of people have said to me, could you make me one? And you know, I'll pay you and things. But it's just so much work, and it's actually quite costly. Like, I know originally, I did find out originally Mandy did sell this as a kit, and the kit, which didn't include everything you needed for the kit, was £70, and then you'd have had to buy a lot of things on top. So I can't tell you fully what I've spent on it, because the pattern was 15, the foam I bought, that would have been about £10. Like, I've built it up over time. I didn't just do this in one hit. I used some of the felts I already owned, but I did buy a pack of wool felt for some additional colours. Then that was £10. The dolls, I think, was set at £27 for all the wooden dolls with nothing on them. The acrylic paints, though, I already own those. They're sitting in a drawer. So the button. That will lead you to another thing I want to tell you about. I actually got in an advent calendar. Last year, basically I don't normally have an advent calendar for myself. I normally do them for my children. Like, I have some occasionally. My parents have bought me a Cadbury's chocolate one as I've got into adulthood, and 1 or 2 years I bought a couple's hotel chocolate one. But what I did last year is I did my husband one separate, and I've done that this year, and my children all separate ones. And I bought myself the Sewing Quarter advent calendars, and they've been really nice. I've had those 2 years in a row. Unfortunately, that will be the last, because unfortunately Sewing Quarter TV channel, excuse me, I'm not getting a drop, probably because I'm getting upset about it, drive-through has closed down. Oh, it's so upsetting. Excuse me, I'm sorry if it offends you if someone drinking or eating while filming, but sometimes I get what it is. I don't know if you follow me on Instagram or anything, but that's one of the reasons I'm only just bringing you a video now, is because I've had a cold. Like, I've done really well, actually. I've had a lovely Christmas, a really, really busy Christmas, and like, I had a Christmas party to go to on the 23rd of December, so I had a bit of the 22nd of December, so I had a little bit of a slowish day on the 23rd, and then 24th, then I ended up doing all these last minute things with my husband, and like picking up this speaker, because he was going to DJ at a family Christmas party on Boxing Day. We dropped in on one of his relatives, and then Christmas Day we did the Christmas thing in the morning, the presents, went out for lunch, which we've done for a number of years since the kitchen got destroyed, and we're always having home renovations, and so we've gone out for that again. And then Boxing Day, it was basically a bit of an all-dayer family Christmas party. They actually started in a pub and hired the room upstairs. And oh gosh, I'm actually getting a bit dry again. Excuse me. Yeah, so oh dear. It's a shame I don't know how to cut these videos. Is it because I'm going to cough? Excuse me so much. So I've been burning the candle at both ends. That's the problem. And then so we had this Boxing Day party, and then we've had a day's break. I can't remember how it falls. Well, we had a party at a neighbour's house. We've had a trip to the theatre, and then basically when I was at the theatre, I started to sneeze, and I thought it was my allergies. And then the next day, I was really poorly. So I've been quite poorly with a cold. So and it's actually I've been in bed with it, so maybe it's a bit more than a cold. So I've been steaming my face. I bought a steamer. I was well enough to just get this steamer. It's got like a nose attachment, and put essential oils in it, and it has really helped. Well, I'm feeling much better today, and I thought I'm well enough to do this video, and obviously now I've ruined it, coughing and spluttering. But so what am I going to talk about now? So I was on about advent calendars, and I got that button and other buttons. I've used more than one of those buttons on here. I've used 3 of them, because the doors, you actually have a little tie and you button them back at the back here, so I got good use out of those. So yeah, so the advent calendars, I've had the sewing quarter one, and then I'd already pre-ordered it, and then Mandy Shaw released that she was doing one, and she'd never done one as far as I know before, and I thought I've got to have it, and so I feel really spoiled that this year I had 2 advent calendars. And my husband said I have been like a child, because I've woke up so excited every morning and ran downstairs to open my calendars before I've done anything. He said I've been like a child, and do you know what? It was quite childish, but I've really enjoyed it, and so I've kept the outer bit for the sewing quarter one, just to show you what. So that's, oh gosh, I've dropped something here, probably something I want to show you. I've just piled it. That's what the sewing quarter one looked like on the outside, with a lovely ribbon. And when you opened it up, I've ripped it out now, it had like like a box kind of thing on each side with all doors, and was opening things out of that. But what I've decided to do is to keep this outer bit. I just thought the outer bit was too nice to throw away, so I'm going to actually do something useful with that. I haven't quite decided. It might just be a pattern folder or something, I don't know, but when I do, I'll let you know. So if anybody else has kept theirs, hold on to it, because I might give you an idea what to do. It might be a rubbish idea, but you never know. So that was that one. And Mandy's was more expensive, I will admit. And Mandy's came in this gorgeous box. And you can have a look at that. It's quite thick, look. And it didn't have doors. It's just an empty box, look. But it had tissue paper in it. And I don't know if I've got any to hand here. It came with little paper spotty bags with a sticker on each one saying the number, and they were between layers of tissue, so they were mixed up, but not mixed up with the whole 24, so you wasn't having to go, only the first sort of, say, 10 were mixed up, and then there'd be another layer, and you did it like that. And there were some lovely things in the calendars, and I'm gonna show you some of the things. Actually, I might open this box, so as I've shown you things, I can get rid of them. Now, I'm going to show you 3 things first that wasn't in the calendars, but it leads to the calendars. Now, leading up to Christmas, you might have seen these on my social media, but I made these decorations. You have a look. They're like, that red stitching, the red work I do. I made those. Right, I bought them as a kit, and they were meant to be a kit of 5, but I only made 3, and they're spotty on the back. It's only because it was getting so close to Christmas, and I was doing other things, probably this. And that's what I was doing. I was having to wait for things to be delivered to make this as well. Some of the things I didn't have as I went along. And then as I was opening my calendars, some of the things you had to make them, and some of the things I stopped doing this and I was making those. So I was really delighted, because basically this is a kit, and Mandy has 2 kits, but the kit I have hasn't got any ice skates on them, and if you've watched my videos or follow me, you might know I do a bit of figure skating. And so I was really delighted to open this door. Now, I found out not everybody got the figure skate, but how amazing was it that I got the figure skate as I figure skate. So and the funny thing is, I'd only just been making those domes. I was really into it, and then I got that one, and it did come with a different tie to that, but I wanted it to match my others, so I used the same ribbon. So I was over the moon with those, and I've got more domes, and because they're like a dome inside with holes in, so you can stitch through. And I'm definitely going to make more, and not necessarily Christmas. I might make them for other reasons. So that was a lovely make I got in Mandy's calendar. I'm grabbing a few things that I can see. I haven't bought everything in. Oh, it doesn't matter. Now, in Mandy's calendar, I got a number Oh, I have got them. A number of wooden things here and there. So I especially loved this. It's a cotton reel, and it has live, laugh, love on it, and it's an East of India thing. And I suppose you could hang it as a Christmas tree decoration, but do you know what? I love that so much. I'm going to have that hanging in my sewing room, so I'm just going to pop that on the tree for now. And then I got that, am I putting it the right way? Yeah. A wooden ho-ho-ho, that's East of India as well. I got this, I think all the wooden things are East of India. A lovely wooden Christmas tree. So I don't know if everybody got exactly the same, but I think it was there was, because I think there was two, I think they sold out straight away, and then I think Mandy released some more, so I think there was some slight differences. And then I got a wooden star. And what else have I got that's Mandy related? Right, when I get to something Mandy related, I'll tell you, but I'll show you some of the sewing quarter things. Now, I got this pin cushion. I love this. That was in my sewing quarter calendar. So I'm like that. You could hang it as well. Little hanging decoration. You don't have to use it as a pin cushion if you don't want to. And I love things red and strawberry. This came in my sewing quarter one, and these I don't know if I've looked at these properly. I think they're to make quilt labels. So do you know when you've made a quilt, you should really put who made it, when you made it, and who it was for. But I'm ashamed to say I haven't really been doing that all the time, but I am going to, because I post my quilts on social media. I can kind of look back to find out when I finished them and things. So that was in one of my sewing quarter ones. This is a fat quarter, and it feels lovely quality, and that was in the final day of the sewing quarter, day 24. I'll give you a fat quarter. You're looking at that kind of size. It's basically, if you took in England, if you took a metre of fabric off the bolt, so it will be whatever width that is, cut it in half that way and half that way, so you've got 4 chunks, and that's what that is. Like, you can have long quarters, so you cut it into 4, but you'd cut 25 centimetre, 25 centimetre, 25, 25, and that would come up to a metre, whatever the width, so you'd have a long quarter. And in that had a £10 voucher to spend at Sewing Quarter. And it didn't have a minimum. You didn't have to spend 30 or 50 to get the £10 or 100. You could just spend the £10. Now, what happened is, because Sewing Quarter were closing down and some people had already opened their calendars, the voucher you wasn't supposed to use to the 1st of January, but because they were closing down, they said they'd honour it straight away. But the only problem I was finding is, as things were coming on the channel when it was still open, you'd be putting things in your basket, and it wouldn't come to £10. So unless it come to £10, you couldn't use your voucher, but you couldn't build up things in your basket because they were going. Even if you put something in your basket, if someone else did and they checked out, it would be gone, or somebody phoned up, it would be gone. So I was finding it really difficult to actually spend my voucher. And then I was looking online to see what they had in the shop, and there wasn't much really in there. So yeah, I was a bit disappointed really, but I did end up spending it. But the thing I've ordered, it was something I've already got, but I didn't mind having 2 of them. I'll show you when they come. And then something else, I haven't got them yet because they're so far behind with their orders. I think I've had everything from that I ordered from the 11th of December. I think I've had everything from there, but anything after there I haven't received yet. I've got a strip of red fabric. I think this was in the Sewing Quarter, tiny piece. So I don't know what I'll use that for, but you know, they come in handy, don't they? Oh, okay, I got threads. So this is lovely. This is an Aurifil thread. Quite a, I can't see what weight it is, but it looks like something you'd hand quilt or hand stitch with the weight of that. It doesn't, I can't see it at the moment what weight that is. And lovely purple colour, so I can put that in my stash. And I got a, I think this is a Metler, yeah, a Metler thread. I think it's like a shiny one. That might be good for machine embroidery. If you've got an embroidery machine, you can put it in for that. So I'll put that with my embroidery threads. Yes, that's reminded me. In my sewing quarter one, I got 3 washi tapes in a pack. And they come in really handy because I use those to tape up Christmas presents, but they've all been used now, so I can't show you those. And also, I got one tape in Mandy's, and I've actually still got the band that went around it. You probably, oh, it's too bright, isn't it? It's basically, it's grey and white with Merry Christmas and dots and hearts, and actually the tape was see-through. When you put it on, you could see what was ever underneath it, but you could see the Merry Christmas and the hearts and things, and I think I used all of that wrapping presents as well, so they did come in quite useful. Now, this came in Mandy's. When I first got it out, I could see it was a pack of tissues, which actually is quite handy, isn't it? Is this why I've caught a cold? Mandy knew, didn't she? And I couldn't make it out. I thought, what is sewing about this? Well, I was looking at it the wrong way. So if you look at it that way, I don't know if you can make that out, but they're tiny, colourful sewing machines. But bearing in mind, when I used to open my calendar, I just woke up and I said I'd have one eye closed. So so that's great. I'm gonna keep them there because you don't know if I start. I'm gonna open them. Yeah, I'm gonna get one out just in case I get a problem. My nose hasn't started running, but you never know. Okay, so I'll just grab this tin because I was putting things in it. This tin, it's gorgeous. I got it from I bought it from Marks and Spencer's last Easter, and it's a little chick, look, and you've got chocolates in it. But I bought it thinking I want that tin because I love Easter and things. So, and I was putting some of my calendar things in it. I got this from this sewing quarter because it's got notions on it, and that's their own brand, and that's beeswax. That's quite useful for softening your threads. If you've got, they're a bit scratchy pulling them through. Do you know, if you want to soften them up a bit? I think that's what it's for. That's what I don't think I've ever really needed it, in all honesty. But you never know. Sometimes what it is, I probably buy good quality thread, but say if you've got some that are not so good quality, that probably be quite useful. Look, I've melted beeswax and things before. Now I know I got pins in both calendars. And I got, do you know what, actually, I think I opened the pins on the same day, on the same day. So in the sewing quarter one, I got 1.5 inch dressmaker's pins, right? And in the Mandy Shaw one, I got flower head pins. They're nice long ones, good, they're flat head, nice for like quilting and things. I use both kinds of pins, so those are really useful. You can never have enough pins, can you? Now, this was in the sewing quarter, and I couldn't make it out to start with, and that had all white in it. And what I couldn't figure out what it is. I took it out. I took this bit out. I don't want to do it now because the powder will go everywhere. And then it had like a little thing, and I took it off, put it back on, and then all the powder fell inside. And then it's got a wheel on the bottom there. So if you do that, basically for dressmaking and things, it will leave a chalk line. So you can obviously keep filling that up with chalk. So if you're marking things on fabric, and then it will just brush away. So that was in there. That's going to be quite useful. What is this? Oh, you can never have enough assorted needles, can you? So, you know, not the most expensive. That was in the sewing quarter, but I did, with sewing quarter closing down, I did stock up on quite a few hand sewing needles, and John James sewing needles. They're lovely. They're an English company, lovely. So, but I'm going to be sorted for needles for a bit, because they do blunt, don't they? What I forgot. And actually, I did get some John James needles in my sewing quarter calendar, but I've put them in a sewing box with all my other ones. But it did make me laugh because they were labelled milliner's needles, and I thought, what's a milliner? I had to, like, thank goodness for Google. I googled it, and it's for they're for hat makers, and I have made hats, but maybe it's for like bowler hats. I don't know. So I've got milliner's needles, but I have got a pattern for a military hat by Fiona Sewing Girl. She was on Sewing Girl. I love her. She's lovely. She's just lovely. And actually, she does comment on my Instagram, and I comment on her, and I really appreciate that. She's really, really lovely. I just really like it. So anyway, carry on. Going about, someone I like, she's lovely. Right, then I got these buttons in the Mandy Shaw one. They're lovely. They're little Christmas ones, and I didn't end up using those on anything this year, but those can go in my stash. And actually, that did cause a bit of upset, because I was posting in a Facebook group what I was getting in my Mandy thing, but what I'd put is, I'd put spoiler alert, day whatever in the comments, and I would post what I had from both calendars in the comments, and that was fine and everyone was happy with it. But somebody commented on my thing saying, oh, I love the buttons, and somebody was at work and they knew then what they was got in their calendar. So, but the thing is, what I was doing, I wasn't going on social media before I opened my calendar. I'd just make sure I'd open my calendar and there's no surprise sport. But having said that, somebody posted a picture of something they had in their calendar the day before the actual date, plain to see, not in a comment, plain to see. So I did have one ruined. Oh, and actually, I've got to go back to this, right? Oh, do you know, I was telling you that when I got this, and this was day 24 on the sewing course, and you got a £10 voucher. What people were saying is, open it up and get your voucher out, but get someone else to do it for you so you don't ruin your surprise. So you can use the voucher now. So I told my husband this, I said, look, when you go into day 24, there's a gift in there, and there's a voucher. I don't want to know what the gift is, but could you please get the voucher out so I can spend it now? Anyway, so I told him that. Anyway, he opened it up and he goes, oh yeah, there's some fabric in here and a piece of paper. I'm like, please. I said, don't tell me. He goes, well, you're not going to know what kind it is. So I knew I was getting fabric in day 24, but I didn't know what kind. But it kind of ruined the surprise, didn't it? But never mind. So, you know, there you go. Anyway, another day in my sewing quarter, I got this lovely little tin. I think it was sewing quarter. Yeah, I think it was. If it was Mandy's, I apologise. I do apologise if it was Mandy, but I think it was sewing quarter. A lovely little tin. Another day, I got those. Like, you can get these to a penny, can't you, really? But from sewing quarter. But do you know what? You should really take something like this and have one in every handbag, because you never know, do you? If you're going to need to sew something, say if some button popped up, and that's good for someone who doesn't normally sew. They're all threaded up, look, at different colours, and there's a safety pin. So I know people did complain about getting this in the calendar, but do you know what? It's useful. You could give it to somebody, put it in a cracker, you do something, put it in a handbag, it might come in handy one day. What else? Oh, another notions thing. So this is sewing quarter. You can't see them, but they're machine sewing needles. People complained about those. no idea why. You always need sewing machine needles, they go blunt. Right, this, I'm convinced is Mandy. Yeah, I'm putting money on this was at Mandy's. There's a tin and it's got the Eiffel Tower on it, so I'm guessing that's Paris. It's lovely, isn't it? And inside it's got tape measure. You can never have enough tape measures. Well, not in my world anyway. So yes, that's lovely. Oh, it's a bit of air in there. We didn't want to close. What else? Oh, the seam ripper. That was in the sewing quarter. Right. There's a bit of a story behind this as well. I got a lovely lip balm in Mandy's. It's all natural, sweet orange. I'm gonna bend it. I've got two. Sweet orange and something, and cocoa, and it's Faith and Betty, the brand. And anyway, this was day 16. Now when I went into my box, I had no day 16, right, and I was a bit upset about it. And so I messaged Dandelion Design saying, oh, I haven't got anything at day 16, and they sent me another. However, somebody posted in this group, oh, day 16, it isn't in a paper bag, it's in this little netted bag. Now, I did have a little netted bag in my box, but didn't have a number on it, and the box did smell gorgeous, so I just thought, oh, it's a scented thing. I didn't think it was the... But what had happened is, apparently they didn't put those in a paper bag, they put them in these little netted bags, put the numbers on it, and my number had came off and stuck to another bag, which I found later on. And Mandy sent me, and the team sent me another one, and I felt awful. I felt really awful about it. And I did message them, and I said, could I pay you for it? You know, because I feel bad. It was my fault. And they said, no, but, you know, see, it's a Merry Christmas and thank you for the support. So I've got two, which is really nice. And what I love is I'm a bit fussy with things I use because I've got allergies. So I try and like buy natural, like I can't wear certain jewellery. You know, I react, I think I react to certain plastics, and so I have to try and go as natural as I can with things. So when I find it's like a natural, totally natural, I was really pleased because I thought, oh yeah, I can use that. Is there one more thing in here? Oh, and the lovely smelling thing that was in Mandy's box, which is upstairs on the dresser, it was a candle, and oh, it's got such a zing to it, and it's so nice. You don't even have to like have lit it once, but I just leave it on my dressing table. When I walk in there, every now and again I just get this, oh, it's the smell. It brings back memories of how my calendar smelled every time I open the box, and that was lovely. This is out of the sewing quarter one, and basically it's a tape measure, and then when you want to pull it in, you squeeze the middle and it goes in. That's one of their Notions one. That's why everything of theirs is always blue, like this, or turquoise. What would you call it? Teal? Aqua? I don't know. Like something like that. And that was that. Now in the sewing quarter one, I got a lovely pair of snips. I got a pair of these last year in my sewing quarter one as well. But you know what? You can never have enough, because if you're anything like me, I crochet, I knit, I sew. So I tend to have like a knitting bag, a crochet bag, an embroidery bag. I have sewing by my sewing machine. I need these things everywhere. I do. I don't have enough of these. I sometimes think, well, I need some snips, you know. So, I wouldn't be disappointed to get more of these because I can never have enough of them. So, and then in Mandy's, I did get scissors in Mandy's, and I've put them in here. This isn't anything to do with Avon Keller. This is a sewing roll that I made some time ago, and I've put them in here. So. And I got these lovely scissors, and I think these are Ernest Wright. They're a British brand. I think the original people have retired now and another company have taken over, but I have used these once since having them, And you know what? Oh my goodness. Like, I don't know how long that will last, but they snip the fabric right to the point. Do you know, like normally when you're doing fabric and you have to keep going like this, they snip right to the point. I don't know if it's just because they're brand new, but oh, they are amazing. So I'll pop those back in there. Actually, something that I got in one of my sewing quarter calendar last year is in here, and it was I think it was, yes. No, it might not have been sewing quarter. I might have got that in my secret society that I was in, and it's a mirror that's got sewing reels on it, look. So and I've got that in there, so I'll wrap that up. Now what can I see? Right, something I can see. This is something that I tried to tell you about before that I made, and then I didn't know where it was. And this is a House of Alistair make, and it's an eye mask, and it's got lavender inside it, and oh, it's lovely. It really is lovely. And actually, I'm gonna take this back upstairs. I think after this video, I'm gonna have a little lie down and you know, and feel sorry for myself, because you know I'm not feeling great, in all honesty. So yes, I made that ages ago, but that was this year, so it's, well, last year now, 2019, so that just rounds that up. And if you remember, around about Halloween, I was making loads of Halloween things, and I told you about a hairband hat that I made, and I found it. It was why I couldn't find it is I've got these ironing baskets that have got our names on it, and it was in my ironing basket, and I had neglected my ironing, but I'd done everybody else's on, and it was in the bottom of that. So this is it. Basically, I was watching Debbie Shaw on This Morning, and she was with Holly and Phil, and she made all these little Halloween things. So I just kind of did what she did, and did it slightly different, but I put like a black bow, and actually with this left, I've got this from Hobbycraft, it's got like cats on it. I made a scarf out of it, just about. I didn't do anything with it, I just put it around my neck, and what's really nice is it's on a hairband, so it, like, I kind of put it at a jaunty angle, and it goes like that. But I did feel like, I don't know if it's because of these, I felt a bit OTT in it, in all honesty. But yeah, so next Halloween, yeah, I might put that on again. But yeah, but I was a bit too Halloween. I had the dress. I went Halloween crazy, actually. I had Halloween glow-in-the-dark dress and things. So next thing I can see is, there's a couple of things I've received in the post. I received a Christmas card from Mandy. That's really lovely, and it's got a calendar on the back. That's useful. I'll put that on my pin board, and oh my gosh, I'll put that in there as well, because I can sort it all out. And then today I was so delighted, and thank you so much as well for this. I got a New Year card from John Scott, and it's put Claire who makes ... because I think I've changed it that many times. Claire who makes stuff, Claire who makes things. You know, I keep changing it, but I'm Claire who, I've tried to change it to Claire who, I did change it to Claire who makes, that's what he's put, Claire who makes, but then when I tried to change my Facebook to Claire who makes, it wouldn't let me. So then I tried to change, so I changed my Instagram back to Claire who makes things. This is Claire, my YouTube's Claire who makes things. Tried to change my Periwinkle Cottage Crafts on Facebook to Claire. I don't know if I can find now where I change it, but if I can change them to the same, I'll change them to the same, because it's a bit confusing, isn't it, having things with all different names and keep changing my name. But I don't know, maybe it's because I'm a Libran, and you know, you get a bit indecisive, and maybe it's that. Something else I was playing with while I was poorly in bed, I was making these, they're classed as, it's a bit like origami, but it's called kirigami, and I've been making these paper bows. So I was actually and where I got this idea from, I've been watching the new Kirsty Allstop Christmas things. I haven't watched them all yet, and there was a quick snippet of how you make these, and trying to watch, I had to keep rewinding and pausing. The instructions wasn't good at all, but really it wasn't very clear. but I figured it out in the end, and I've made these. So I was thinking of bringing you a demo on these, but I don't know how easy it will be. If you're interested, I'll try and do it for you. So that's that. And then another thing I was doing is I made some. I didn't do many Christmas cards. I just ran out of time. The only Christmas cards I really did was my husband, my mum and dad, and a craft group this year. And that was because I thought, oh yeah, craft group, I'm meeting them for a meal, we're all going to give each other handmade cards. But it turns out I was the only person that made a card. Everybody else did bought one, so but I was still pleased I'd made them a handmade card. So what I did, I didn't really plan the card ahead, but I die cut a Christmas tree out of the middle of each one and put a pattern card behind it. I can't show you one, and I didn't take a photo of one, and I just kind of went from there. And then I stamped things, and then I didn't have a die cut Merry Christmas or anything that I wanted stuck on. So what I did, I designed it on my computer. Like I put individual Merry Christmas letters, I overlapped them in a quirky way, and then welded that file together, and then got it to cut. So I cut out quite a few of these Merry Christmases, and that was the orientation. I wonder if I put something behind it. Have I got something? Oh, I don't know. Oh, what's that like? Oh, it's gold. No, that's not going to help, is it? So can you see that? And I stuck that because it's in mirror card, and I stuck those on the front. And actually I was left with loads of these trees that I'd cut out, 11 trees that I'd cut out. But I've got coordinating dies that go with this tree. So I ended up cutting more things out, and I made loads of Christmas tags. And actually I've kept some that I've wrote on, I can use them again, and some that I didn't end up using at all. So I've got a load of Christmas tags for another year, and that was just like waste from the centre of the card. So I was quite pleased with myself with that. What else I've got to show you on here is I've decided to do a quilt along. And what it is, I bought today's quilter 1 month because it had Mandy Shaw in it, and it advertised that Janet Clare, someone else I like, was going to be in the following one. So I ended up getting the magazine, and it was issue 55, was it? Yeah, issue 55, and there's Janet Clare there. And so I decided to subscribe to the magazine, so I could get the other blocks. But my subscription wouldn't start until, it hadn't started yet, till late January. But there was going to be 2 more magazines, so I had to go wait for the other one, buy that one, and that's this one, 56. Buy that one. So then I had 4 blocks. Still, I hadn't got any fabrics to do it, and then I knew the next one was going to be Christmas Eve. Now normally WH Smiths, if you know a release date of a magazine, the Solihull WH, if you go there on the day it releases, I normally find I can't get it, and I can go every day. So I wouldn't do that now. I'd wait a week and a half, but you risk, if they have come in, them selling out. Anyway, I was in Solihull with my husband on Christmas Eve, and I just thought, you know what, he went in the post office. I thought, you know what, I'm going to go and have a look, and they had it. I was so pleased. So I got the Christmas Eve one, but I know any future ones now, I've got a subscription for so many months of it. So, but then I started to fret, thinking, oh, it's going to be such a job getting the fabrics for it, and like coordinating ones and everything. Anyway, I got this email just before Christmas Eve, actually before I got the 3rd one, from Janet Clare, saying people have been asking me about the fabrics. She sold a pack, so I was like straight on it, bought the pack, and they actually arrived Christmas Eve. I haven't done any of them. So with these magazines, I could actually make 6 blocks, quilt blocks, but I haven't done them yet. but I'm going to do those pretty soon. So that's a project that's going to be going on this year. Now, if you remember, I made oh, hang on, this is that. Do you know what? I'm just gonna, before I carry on, I've got two more advent calendar things here. One of my advent calendar things in my Mandy Shaw was to make this, and you got the hoop, and you basically got everything you needed to make this, and I made this. So I was really pleased with that. That's been hanging in my porch. That was a lovely little make to make. And on the final day of Mandy Shaw, day 20, there was a day 25 in Mandy's one, even though obviously Advent is 24, but it was delightful to get a day 25. And actually it was the bits and bobs to make a hanging heart. And Mandy's quite famous for her hanging hearts, but I've never made one, even I made loads of her things. And this was it. And it was the Happy New Year, so I did manage to get that done in time, ready for New Year. And yeah, I'm really pleased with that. That's the back. And actually, I'd got one button left from my sewing quarter buttons, and I managed to use the final one. So I've used all four. So I've used 3 on this, and the final one on that. And they're lovely. They say handmade with love with little hearts. So I'm really pleased with that, and that's going to come out each New Year. Right, a purchase. This is amazing. I'm really going to try and hurry this along now because we're getting to 51 minutes. And so this is what I bought. This iron, and it's called I don't know, Oliso, would you call it? And basically it's a smart iron, and it does say, I think it says somewhere that it's designed for sewers. But do you know what? Yeah, renovated for sewing and quilting. And it's got an extra long pivot cord, and it's got an 8-minute shutdown, so it'll shut down after 8 minutes. Heats up in seconds to 2,000 watts. It is. So basically, you think, oh, an iron. Right, how exciting. This is exciting, right? Watch this. Now this iron, right, you will never ever, it's not designed to stand up like this. Even though you can, it's not designed to do that. So I'm going to put it this way because I'm right-handed. Let's move that tin. Now, it's not plugged in, but I'm going to plug it in. Now watch the iron, don't watch me. It's not on, is it? Is the power on? Hang on, bear with me, bear with. Oh! Sorry about that. I'm attached to the microphone. Bear with me. Ah, it is on. Oh, I'm going off. I didn't think there was any power. Now watch this. Can you see it's lifted? I don't know, did you see it? I don't know. Oh gosh, I've ruined this video, haven't I? Not saying they're great anyway. Basically, watch this. When I put my hand there, it goes down. So then it knows I've got an iron in my hand, right? Then when you let it go, it lifts up. So you don't ever have to stand the iron up. It knows, you can just place the iron down. Look. Let it go. It lifts up, and you just leave it there as long as you like. So that's pretty fantastic, isn't it? I'll lift this up a little bit. Sorry about that. Here we go. Right, I'm going to unplug that. So another thing I'm up to is I'm doing more red work. I'm going to leave that there just to cool down for a moment. Is it filming? Oh, it is. I thought I'd stop the filming. I'm doing more red work. Now, if you remember, I've done a red work quilt before, but I'm doing another one. It's long overdue, but the reason I didn't do it is because I was doing my other one, and when I bought the pattern, I was doing my Mandy Shaw one, and it was too much trying to do it. So I started some of this last year, but I'm really on a roll with it now. So what I've been posting these on social media, so that's one of the ones I've done. It's a Christmas carol quilt. So that says Ding Dong Merrily on High. Put that one there. This is the one I finished last night. Three Kings of Orient are. And this is the... which one is this? Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn king. That's that one. I stitched all those angels in the car while I was waiting for my son to come out of school, but I finished that off at home. And then and this is one of the, I think there is a second part to this, Silent Night. So that will be near the top of the quilt, and then there's another piece that will go at the bottom, but I haven't done that yet. Basically that's the pattern. So you can see that's where that music one is there, and there's going to be another music one. So that's what it will look like when I've done it. And so I'm working on that, and I'm pretty determined to do that really. So I probably will get maybe all the red works done. I don't know what order before I start the Janet Claire. I'm not sure yet what order I'm going to do things. Now, because obviously Christmas is over, I'm going to be putting things back in the loft, and there's a few bits I've grabbed here that you've probably never seen on YouTube before. I'm going to move this iron. Shall I move the iron? Is that a bit distracting? See, I put that there. Balance it. Yeah, I think it's okay. And so in the one Christmas, might have been last Christmas, I made this lovely deer head, and I just put a safety pin on it, and that goes on one of our walls above the door at Christmas, and he's really lovely, so he's going to be getting put away soon, with like Christmas nearly over, obviously the 12 days of Christmas and all that. Oh gosh, my microphone is all tangled around this iron wire, so I can't reach anything. Right, there we go. Right, here's a make that I made last year that was red work, and it's a Mandy Shaw box cushion, and that's lovely. That I made that last year, and I think I made these last year as well. These stockings, and I crocheted these stockings, so these have been hanging in my porch actually, and these have looked lovely, and I really enjoyed making those last year. But the only crochet I've done this year is the cardigan, but I haven't finished that. I've never mentioned my lampshade club before, and I've only made one lampshade, but I plan to do more of them, and what I want to do before I make any more is this. It's basically a case that you put them in, and but I went to do it the other night, and I've got a bit of linen to do the red work on, and I've got a bit of rick-rack out my stash to go around it, but I didn't have the fabric, so I managed to order it on eBay from Billow Fabrics. Can you see that? And they've put a couple of samples in, and it's a lovely Robert Kaufman, and I think it's 50% linen and 50% cotton, but I couldn't do the red work for it until this turned up, which turned up today. I couldn't do the red work because I want my threads to match this, and you never know looking online what colour they're going to be, so that's something I can do now that's arrived. I just realised one of my king's hats fallen off with all that excitement, so that's something else I'm doing, and there's nothing on there, is there? Nothing here. So this is it now. This is we've started taking things off the Christmas tree. We've left some Christmas decorations up because obviously the 12 days of Christmas. It's 12 days of Christmas. I don't understand people taking things down on Boxing Day, in all honesty, in my opinion. But, you know, horses for courses. But here's some of the I didn't hang all my handmade decorations up this year because we're going through renovation. We didn't really go overboard with decorating this year. So the most decoration was up in the hall and porch. So these are some little stockings I made in the past with my children's names on. These are some little shoes I crocheted that they go a bit out of shape, that are with snowflakes on, if you can see, that hang from the tree, that made 1 year. Here's a little stocking I knitted that hang on the tree. I made this for my youngest son 1 year. It might have been a year or two ago now. But like a little potato shaped Santa with a hat, and he loved that. So that comes out now at Christmas. This is crocheted. I crocheted this stocking. I've had this quite a few years. I made this when my sewing area was still in my bedroom, and actually I love it. They're meant to be like gingerbread shapes with icing on them, and it's all different shapes, and I hand stitch beads for sprinkles on them, and I sewed and I put bells onto the ribbon, and that's delightful to get that out every year. I made this last year. I crocheted this little elf. Isn't he lovely? And I got his pattern out of the Simply Crochet magazine, and he's lovely. I can't find that magazine now because somebody wanted that pattern. I don't know where the magazine's gone, but I love him. And then he's a crochet. Have you heard of Attic 24? She's a crochet lady, and she had a pattern in that same not that magazine, but the same brand of magazine, Simply Crochet, and she had that pattern 1 year to make a crochet bird. So I made that bird 1 year. Here's a I don't know, I think I designed this myself. It's not that I've never seen reindeer, but from what I can remember, I was just doing my own thing with it. If I'm wrong, correct me, but I tend to sometimes put my own stamp on things anyway. But so I made that deer. It's another couple of crochet. They're meant to be sort of like crocheted snowflake thingies, but you can't really. Well, you can do I've done snowflakes, but it was someone else's pattern. I just copied it, and then I did these like sweet. These are crocheted. That's like a crocheted sweet, and there's more. There's another one. I did a crochet candy cane. That was fun to make. Oh, here's the other two stockings for my other two children. And I love this. I remember making this. It just brings back lovely memories, doesn't it, when you get these things out that you've made. I made this Yorkshire pudding, Christmas pudding. I love Christmas pudding. I will get that wrong. And I sewed all those little sequins individually onto that, and I do love getting that out each year. There's a couple of things in here I haven't made that I've been bought. So that little deer and a Santa. And the boys love these hanging on the tree, and I was bought that. I think my mum bought me that 2018 bell. I do love bells, and actually I got that. I went to a Christmas fair 1 year, a magical Christmas fair at the NEC, and they handed that bell to us. I think it was the year of the Polar Express, and they handed that bell, and I hadn't watched the Polar Express, and I love the bell anyway, and then when I watched the Polar Express it made sense. And then here are a couple, and now I've made lots of these, but these are just some of them. They're actually like clay, but you have to put in a kiln. So I went somewhere where I could go and roll it out and cut it out, and I stamped and I stuck things on and I inked and things, and the lady then took it away and put it in her kiln and fired it and then sent them back to me. But I did that last year and the year before, but I don't know if there was one this year, but I didn't do it this year. But I've made like deers with the children's names and things on. So do you know what, I think that's it for now. I probably could chat longer. I obviously like to talk, don't I? But I can see this video now is 1 hour and 5 minutes, so I'm a bit ashamed. So yes, I'm going to leave it there. I'm sorry if you like to see my pets and things. I didn't bring a pet in today because I just grabbed all this stuff. I had so much stuff. I wouldn't be able to give a pet the time they needed, and I had a hot iron, and you know, for safety reasons I thought it was best. But I'll bring a pet next time, and I'll keep you informed what's going on. And no doubt when I get off here I'm going to kick myself and say, oh, I didn't do this, didn't do that, but that's what you get when you don't plan a video. So thanks for watching, and thanks if you've watched all of this, and hopefully it's not too boring. But yeah, so that's where I'm at. So I hope you had a lovely Christmas if you celebrate it. Happy New Year. It's the 4th of January today, so I'm a bit late, and I'm going to go and blow my nose and have a cough and go and feel sorry for myself now. And but I'm so glad I thought if it goes on any longer, oh, it's just a joke. I just have too much to show you. There was enough to show you anyway, wasn't there? So hopefully we can start afresh now, and I hope you've liked seeing the things I've made. And if you've got any questions of other things I didn't mention that you'd like to know, then just message me and I'll try to do my best to answer. But hopefully, oh, I found my remote. So I'm going to say bye. I've got remotes, but thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. And I hope that 2020 is going to be a great year for you. Thanks for watching. Bye.